Well,
All right,
starting
what,
off, so
yeah.
how did the whole group come together? Uglyface. Where does the name come from, and how did it take off from there? And anybody can go on this one.
You want to take it, Eric? Or you want me to go?
That's you, Kev.
All right, all right. So, well, we started off. I mean, we all met in high school. All right, and we're in our 30s now. So you're talking mid 2005, 2006, 2004. Started off making music together. First it was me and Aaron, who's not on right now. His daughter's about to be born, I think, in the next day or so. He just flew back to New York for that. But me and him started making music together. Andre introduced us, who's not on here, but started making music, introduced us to Eric. We started making a bunch of songs together. And one of the sessions, we started making this song called Uglyface. And basically, it was about that face you get when you hear something incredible, you eat something incredible. Just that oof, oh, it's so good, it's giving you an ugly face, right? And Eric was actually the first one to point that out. And so we just kind of rocked with it. It kind of felt like, all right, that kind of embodies what we're about. We're striving for excellence. We're striving for something better than, what we hear, what we feel. And it kind of just blossomed from there. Now that it was like 2010, I believe we adopted that name. And we took a hiatus, kind of went on our own paths, grew our skill set. And with coronavirus pandemic, everything shut down. So we kind of all got back together and all of our, swords sharpened now. And we're kind of tearing it up.
Nice. So when you started out, did you start just doing live performing? You knew you had the skill, or it was just basically, you're just going in whatever studio you have or whatever setup you have, you were just kind of putting out mixtapes or just burning stuff?
Yeah, I mean, in the very beginning, I mean, I produce, Eric and Andre and Aaron rap. Eric produces, Aaron produces. So at first we were just making songs. I'd make a beat. Aaron, we'd set up a little studio in his bedroom, record, small stuff like that, pass it around school, kind of grew from there. And yeah, that's pretty much how it started.
Cool. What kind of stuff did you start writing about?
Go ahead, Eric.
Well, at that time, I mean, we're in high school and everything, so it's whatever experiences we're going through, like whether it's love or whether we have tension between friends or anyone that's around us. I say maybe if it's issues with parents, it could be things that we enjoy, just simple stuff, just anything that comes to mind. And to this day, I still write about stuff like that, anything that inspires me. And pretty much, I mean, we all came together on the same frequency, writing about these certain things. And they all gave us the ugly face. You know what I'm saying? We look around the room and we're all just, vibing. The sonics are there, the lyrics are there. I actually, not at first when we first started, we were still like, honing our skills. I have to throw in there, we were still, I'd say we was like in a honing phase. So we didn't really do too many shows. I think we probably only did maybe like one show when we first started.
All together, yeah.
Yeah, all together, like one show. And then, so we were mostly just recording all the time in the studio, tweaking, trying to put out the best, best product, seeing how can we grow and evolve and everything. And that was before the hiatus, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
How did you start recording? Did you know people at actual studios, or did you have your own equipment?
I first started, I didn't have any equipment. I actually started recording with Kevin and Aaron, and they had, they were actually the first people I've actually met in my life who actually had the most, like all the wondrous equipment I've ever seen in my life. And they just had this room full of keyboards, guitars, preamps, amps, like the whole recording system, mics, and that right there was just like mesmerizing to me at that moment. When I first, you know, walked into that room. So from me recording with them, I actually started learning, you know, how to record myself. That actually inspired me to, you know, go out and get my own equipment, learn how to mix, learn how to produce, learn, you know, get better at my writing, and then learn how to do that myself. Because prior to me running into Aaron and Kevin and us, you know, coming together, I was always looking for, you know, a studio or a place to, you know, record and get into.
Were you, yeah, so obviously you're pretty much self-taught though. You didn't really, did you have to really go to somebody and take tutorials? Did you watch a lot of stuff on YouTube about how to work all the equipment? How did that come about? Or are you just playing around?
I watched Kevin.
Yeah, there you go. Here's your teacher.
Him and Aaron are my mentors. I watched them. And then
we pretty much are self-taught though. We didn't really have mentors. I mean, get a book, you find YouTube, you can you can kind of find anything you really need. So that's pretty much where everything started. Was we had Aaron's room, we packed it full of equipment, we learned how to use it, we, you know, made it sing.
Yeah, that's how you do it these days. I mean, that's how people are like, you know, you're deriving off one another. So who are your big inspirations growing up? Who did you follow? Did you follow a lot of music, more rap? Were you getting into hip hop?
I mean, me personally, when I first started out, I couldn't really listen to rap in my house, right? My parents, they were classic rock, country music. It was like taboo. So I had to sneak around and listen to, you know, Tupac, had to listen to Outkast, all the people that I kind of really liked. I just had to listen on my headphones in my closet, you know what I mean? But when I started like producing and stuff, I mean, Dr. Dre was a big influence, Timbaland. And then I started drifting off into, you know, more your Jay Dillas, your kind of underground hip hop. And that's all from Aaron. He put me onto that stuff. And then I had to backtrack and I got really into soul, Al Greens, your Stevie Wonders, stuff like that. That 70s era was just such an amazing vibe. The creativity, it was kind of like an apex of a lot of artistic creativity to me. And so that's where I kind of pull a lot of things from when we're doing hip hop, R&B stuff now.
Looks like Andre is also coming in on the conversation here. We'll see that in a second. And so now we got 3 guests here on the podcast. So that's cool. Welcome, Andre.
Hello.
How's it going? So where are you at this evening?
I'm in a little town called Stockton, California.
Where did that one?
Drinking a sparkling water.
That's the one you want to drive through.
What are you doing in Stockton?
Don't stop for gas.
You lay low. You lay very low.
Right.
This is a total West Coast inside joke. So what is Stockton known for then?
Yeah, Dre, what's it known for?
Yeah, go ahead, Dre.
I would say recently, petty crimes, break-ins, hot weather. Nothing too great, man.
That's not too much different than Atlanta, but it's not petty. It's a little more upgraded crimes.
Yeah.
No,
in Atlanta they call
cool,
in Atlanta they call big crimes finessing.
There's never a dull moment over here.
No, Stockton's nice though. I don't know if you follow MMA at all, but the Diaz brothers, they're based out of Stockton.
Cool.
They're really, really popular. They're really dope. But yeah, no, Stockton's got some bad parts for sure. You gotta be careful.
Like
they got some beautiful parts to show, you know,
Yeah.
just like anywhere you go, there's a good and a bad. And
Yeah, exactly.
Makes the balance of the city.
Exactly.
Except that it has more bad than
Scales are tipped. I don't know.
Yeah, you just got to be careful. You know, keep your eyes peeled. Don't leave your glasses at home.
Always look over your back. That's this way it goes.
Yes. That's just smart to be in any situation.
Right.
Yeah. So Andre, how did you get hooked up with these guys and help get this group together?
My part was very small, I would say. We all met in high school. We met naturally. We were going to meet, I feel like, one way or another. And if we ever decided not to do music, we would still have been friends, I feel like, for the rest of our lives anyway. So we met each other at like a developmental stage. We all met when we were like 14 and 15 years old. So everybody was just finding out what they actually like to do, what they don't like to do. We were all finding out about girls together, discovering music together, and discovering ourselves at the same time. We met in high school. I was introduced to Aaron by a mutual friend of ours now to this day. And then Kevin and Aaron met. I met Eric because his brother and I had a class together. We all went to the same school. It just happens. The circles aren't that hard to get into where we're from. So we naturally just aligned. The music started to make sense because ever since I met Kevin, he had been a producer or been a lover of music. He's a student of the game. And ever since I met Eric and Aaron, they've been rapping. I kind of grew up in show choir and doing theater and shit like that. So I had to like come around to doing the music side of things. But when we all came together, it just made sense. And it has ever since.
Cool. Now, what school was this?
This was Merrill F. West High in Tracy, California.
So over there, did they encourage you doing the stuff that you were doing, or you really had to do that on your own?
That's interesting you say that. Kev, take that one actually.
I mean, you mean as far as the school itself?
Yeah, this school, because like I grew up making movies, and there wasn't much going on with my schools helping me out. And I did that on my own time. And they were like, "Oh, you're making movies." I got some publicity. I got on TV and some newspapers, and then all of a sudden they're getting interested.
Oh, of course. That's usually how it works, though, right? I mean, our school, no. I mean, at the time, at least, there wasn't really, unless you wanted to be in band. That was pretty much it.
And we know how people treated the band kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even though we always thought they were cool. I always thought it was cool that you could play an instrument or whatever.
Actually, one of my best friends was in band, Miguel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. What instrument?
I have no clue.
Piccolo?
Because to this day, I still don't see him playing an instrument.
The oboe.
Usually something like that, where
That's a really good question.
Tambourine.
But yeah, I don't think there were like programs or anything that we took advantage of to facilitate our creativity. It was kind of something that we had to do on our own and foster on our own. And once we found one another, it became like a brotherhood, and we were just able to lean on each other in that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Actually, I take that back. They did facilitate the lunch tables that we were playing on. I mean,
They did.
Yeah.
They did. We was beatboxing and
Grinding. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing though. Here you are, these many years later. Guys seem to stay together for a while. The ladies, not so much. It doesn't seem like they
I don't know.
stick
I don't know what that's about.
Nah.
Yeah, just being sensitive. They get into cat fights. They don't watch the Real Housewives. It's like, geez, this is stressful watching these people.
And we've naturally had our disagreements, but it's never come to a point where we disliked one another or felt like we couldn't be around one another. I think when we disagree, it's usually kind of an avenue for us to grow. Usually when we disagree on music, that means that somebody is definitely wrong and or somebody has a better idea, and it's just going to enhance the song anyway. So I've always embraced our disagreements because I'm like, oh shit, that means he's got an idea or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. I know. And it always comes from a place of respect too. I think that's
Right.
kind of like the foundation is like, all right, we respect each other's artistic creativity and where we're coming from. So there's always like, all right, where are you coming from? Let me hear what your idea is. Oh, I see. Okay, I got it. All right. Yeah. Because I mean, if you're not respecting each other creatively, then that's just a recipe for disaster.
So typically, how does a song come together? How does a track come together? Does somebody come up with the lyrics and you all collaborate? How do you?
I gotta be honest, every time is a little different.
Yeah.
I could make a beat. Eric could make a beat. Aaron could start with the beat. Aaron could start with the hook. Eric could have a verse from another song that he records and sends over with no beat, and we build a song around it. Andre could have a hook idea, and I mean, there's never really if we were to like make a book on it, it'd be too many chapters, too many ways to start a song.
Yeah,
There's
no one formula.
Yeah.
There's no set way to direct creativity. That's the best way I can say it. And we just go off of how we feel at the moment and build from there.
I will say that one of my favorite ways to create is what I call Aaron, Eric, or Kevin throwing me an alley-oop, which means that they have the beat already, and then either Eric or Aaron or Kevin has recorded an idea already, and they hear me on it. So usually they'll send me a song and they say, I don't know what I need you to do, but I need you to do something on it. I hear you on it. This is my idea. Now you put yours to it. That's my favorite creative process, because I'm like, oh shit, that gets me kind of fired up to finish the song or to give my take on it, my 2 cents. That's my favorite way to create. But like Eric said, we do it in all kinds of ways. Like Kevin said, if there was a book, the chapters would be vast, I would say, because there's no conventional way to do these things, as we both know, or excuse me, as we all know. It's just us getting in like a think tank, I feel like sometimes. And sometimes it doesn't require too much thinking. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't require too much thinking. Sometimes, like Kevin, for instance, will have a whole idea just humming. And then all he needs me to do is make those humming syllables words. And that makes my job kind of easy. So that's just one example out of many.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's really cool how it comes together. So when you started recording, were you like all in the same room? Did you trade files? Because that's how it's been going through the pandemic. Somebody does their pieces, parts, they send it to somebody else, and then it all gets mixed together. What's that process been for you?
I mean, some songs, like when we're all together, we can start a lot of songs, a lot of things. But when we're apart, like we are right now, I might start a beat. Eric might start a song or something. He'll send it. He'll email all of us. We'll all kind of vibe to it. Okay, cool. Andre might lay a verse down over here at my house. Aaron might lay a verse down in New York where he's at. And then they all send them here, and we'll start pulling them together. I'll start, mixing it or whatever, sending ideas out to everybody, see what they're kind of gravitating towards. Sometimes make 2 or 3 different beats to one song, see what, everyone's feeling. And then we kind of try to piece it together we have like 4 or 5 different projects going right now. So it's like, all right, sonically, it might fit on this project over here, but the theme of the song might fit with this project over here. So, okay, we're going to put that one on the back burner for right now, as far as mixing it and everything. But we start to build up a catalog like that of stuff in the pipeline.
Cool. So that leads us to your debut EP called The Good EP. Just released this spring. So is it getting around, getting a lot of play in places like Spotify and other places like Apple Music?
Yeah, it's been climbing steadily. Just released, it'll be 2 weeks this Friday. And I mean, we did get some help. There was a couple people that did some dance videos, especially Yul. He did a dance video to Pillow Talk that actually really kickstarted a lot for us as far as bringing in new fans. Hopefully now it's our job to keep them, you know what I mean? But it's been steadily climbing, which is nice to see.
Yeah, Pillow Talk's interesting. Got some name checks there. Alexander McQueen. How did that name get in there?
What was the line? I said, all this gold on my body, that's Alexander McQueen. So around the time when I wrote that verse, I was working for Sebastian Telfair. And I was helping him out with his project. And he used to, every now and then, he used to sometimes just give me like, little gifts. as you know, as the homie and stuff. So he had gifted me Alexander McQueen a gold ring and a gold bracelet. Just just being a homie and everything. So pretty much I just referenced that line to all this gold on my body. It's Alexander McQueen. And
speaking truth.
It's the truth. Also on top of that, he actually gifted me a pair of McQueens too, as well. Shout out to Sebastian.
Shout out to all the point guards in the world. Shout out to Sebastian Telfair.
Yeah, really. Yeah, you got some. Versace makes an appearance in Oxtails. Oxtails is another really fascinating single as well on this. It's just how did that one originate?
That's a combination of Kevin and I just messing around in the studio one day. Kevin had given me a pack of 4 beats with no ideas in mind, but the same kind of feel in mind. Oxtails happened to be one of this sequence of 4. And I think like a week or 2 previous was hanging out with my dad, and his girlfriend had made him some oxtails. And I had never had oxtails, and oxtails is from what I knew at the time, was a very decadent, very time-consuming, very particular dish to make. But it's also a very loved dish by many people. It was something that I hadn't had, and I remember how happy it made my dad. And I was like, man, I want to write a song about that shit. And then lo and behold, a couple weeks later, Kevin had hit me with these beats, and I was like, oh yeah, this definitely makes sense. Even if I only say it one time, it makes sense. So like I've said before, to myself mostly, Oxtails is a lot about communion and how we get around together at a table and eat together and share ideas. And it also has to do with confidence, because we're all speaking very confidently in the song. And I think that it's just about communion and confidence.
Yeah, total empowerment there. It's like, I'm leaving. Do it anytime you want. It's just got some strength in there. It's a good one. It's a really, really good track. Ain't for Sale. And it's an interesting video too. How did that one come together with the director that you had? Who directed that?
So that was JG. He's out of Atlanta. He directed it. The concept, the treatment came from Aaron, who's actually not on the call. I wish he was, because he's got a very
that was JG.
Yeah, that was JG that directed it. But Aaron
I think that was JG's idea.
Treatment and everything.
Yeah, Aaron wrote the treatments, and he's kind of the force as far as the music videos. He's a very, very big movie buff. And so he loves pulling from different movies for our music videos.
Yeah, I was wondering with the painted face and somebody hiding under the stairs. I'm like, what's that from? I'm trying to figure that out.
So the movie's Dead Presidents for Ain't for Sale. And then Pillow Talk is actually Cobra, a movie called Cobra with Sylvester Stallone.
I remember that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of the inspiration. But Aaron also did the treatment for that one, and JG also directed that one.
So instrument-wise, who's on keyboards, horns? We hear some of that in Ain't for Sale. So who's doing some of the instruments in that?
So Ain't for Sale, I reached out online to a bunch of different people, found a bassist and guitar player. His name is Chris. I gotta get his, I'll get his info to you and you can attach it. The horn player, his name's Ryan. I believe he's from Canada. The keyboard player, I believe, is also from Canada. His name's Johnny Tobin.
Shout out Canada.
Yeah. And it was definitely, I mean, I reached out to a lot of different people. I first started with a sample with the guitar to just kind of get a feel for it. We laid the song down, and then it definitely felt like it needed more instrumentation. So yeah, I just started reaching out to people that I thought their vibe was, it would mesh well with it. Send them the track, started getting pieces back. A couple times I'm, okay, can we get another take? I wish the bass would kind of drop right here. Let me get a horn take, something similar to this. Just kind of giving basic direction, but they all kind of killed it. And then we, mixed it all together. Came out nice.
Very, very, very nice. Yeah. What does it mean that you're not for sale? Where did that line come from?
I'll let Andre take that one.
I feel like it's important to be integritous. We talk all the time about how we give our energy freely to people and how we give our time freely to people. I think that those things we do willingly, and in no way, shape, or form is our light or our likeness for sale. We choose to collaborate with people out of love for music and our love for others, and we choose to do music because that's what we love to do. But none of these concepts, none of these ideas that we have are for the sole purpose of selling them.
Nice. Yeah, keeping it
awesome.
real. Yeah. Yeah, I like Woke Up. Starts with a little acoustic strumming. Who is that with?
Yeah, that was actually Chris too, the same one that plays guitars on Ain't for Sale. He opened that one up. And that track started similarly. I had a guitar sample I chopped up and threw it on there that I wanted to get replayed, just to, add some embellishments, give that live feel, a little bit of movement. And he came through, killed it.
Yeah, that's really got your California roots in there. That's pretty much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what's interesting about that song is we actually started it about 10 years ago. So the vocals you hear on the hook and the first verse are 10 years old. And then Eric, he recorded his verse, I think, right before we dropped that song. But yeah, it was an old song.
Yeah, sounds really good.
Another those oldies but goodies about weed.
Yeah, we found it. We were going through stuff, and it felt right. It just needed a little bit of oomph on the production side, and it came together nice.
Sweet. Is Gwen about somebody you all know, or that track is who came up with that one?
So that was Aaron. He started that song. He made the beat to it, and the original beat was named Gwen. And they wrote the song, and I think you and Aaron both were trying to figure out names, and Gwen just looked best. It felt right, even though it's not about anyone named Gwen.
Just looked better.
It just felt right for the song.
Kept it because we couldn't think of another name. And it worked out though.
So shout out to all the Gwens in the world.
Hey, that's about me. It's gotta be.
Yeah, Gwen, it's about you, Gwen.
It's all open to interpretation.
Yeah.
That's how it is all the time, though. Somebody will just make up, and it just sounds better, but it could be about somebody completely named different. It's just whatever sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Woke Up, some of these people get a mention. I noticed that Tupac and Coachella get in there. Those pretty big influences for you.
All kinds of California references. I'm gonna let you go, Eric. All kinds of California references throughout. But yeah, go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I know that was Aaron. That was Aaron line, and I mean, yeah, Tupac. I would say Tupac is an influence for all hip hop artists. Just like Big and just like everyone else that came before us. They're all inspirations. And we find little parts that we really love about them, and we pluck them and add it to our own.
You'll notice a bunch of Easter eggs throughout our songs where we're talking about Bay Area and California stuff. Like if you know, you know. If you know about Jefferson, if you know about Lake Merritt, if you know about Pier 39, then you know what we're talking about. So we just throw stuff in there to make our songs bring you a little bit closer to home, even if you've never been over this way.
Yeah. How does an inspiration hit you though? If you're driving along, do you get out the Droid or the iPhone and just get your ideas in there? Or you just simply go old school and write things down? When do you get inspired?
You described a lot of my process. I always tell Kevin how when I was driving, I wrote this idea, or when I was driving, I wrote this idea. My voice notes in my phone are full of the ideas that comprised our songs or my parts of our songs, because for some reason I get into this mode when I'm driving and I want to turn some music on and write to it. And that's one of the only times where people are leaving me the hell alone, is when I'm driving. So I get into a creative space for whatever reason on the road. What about y'all?
Yeah, I get creative sometimes on the road. But it depends. I mean, sometimes I'll be at the park, like with the kids, get a little idea, just record it in. A lot of times it comes from you guys though. We're just in here, you guys will hum something and I run with it. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, I get creative on the road a lot, actually. But then I get frustrated that I can't write it down because I'm driving. So I also have a plethora of voice memos and voice notes and that too. But at the same time, that actually honed. I actually got better, freestyling things and memorization. Just being able to retain, certain things, retain inspiration from not being able to, write it down at the exact moment and all that. But inspiration just really, comes
from living.
Like I say,
I'm being honest.
Yeah, from
honest, like,
it's just
you just got to be aware. I feel like you just got to be aware of it, because like really, if someone was like, all right, here's a song, I want you to sample it, or I want you to make another beat out of it, or I want you to make something out of this, I mean, that could spark some inspiration right there. You know what I mean? You could hear a sound. Someone could close a fridge. If it has the right timbre, the right tone to it, oh, I might record that in and throw it in a song. You know what I mean? So really, as long as you're aware of it, your surroundings, you can be inspired by really anything, as long as you're in tune.
I actually gain a lot of inspiration. It's funny because I don't go to the club like that, but the times that I do, if I am in a club, I'll be sitting there and inspired by everything that's going on around me and wishing I'm not there. I'm in a studio. That's part of the reasons why I don't go to the club. I don't have fun there. Like I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, these drums would sound good on this melody. That's what I'm listening to. Or like I'm listening to the music. I'm like, okay, this concept is dope. But if he switched this up, this would be even harder. That's that. I'm analyzing and critiquing the music over there.
Where you do most of your writing at, Eric?
My head.
Oh.
A good memory.
It's the.
All right, Jay.
That's funny. It's funny because I seen something that said the brain basically named itself. So, and I'm like, damn, that's true. But I do a lot of my writing.
That's crazy as hell.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of my writing actually in my head, comes to my brain, but I didn't mean it like that though. But there are a lot of times where Kevin is asking me for my lyrics and everything, and I'm like, man, I can't get them to. I have to rewrite all the songs that we already recorded because I didn't write them down in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That explains it.
That's the problem. Just hopped on the mic.
So now that we're getting out of COVID, are any plans to do live performing, anything in that area, or just basically get back into the studio and keep creating?
We're working on it.
Oh,
I think that's definitely a short-term goal, is to get some stuff together so we can start performing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you get on mainstream terrestrial radio? Is that possible, or it's just basically on the music?
I mean, we're on like digital radio right now. I think Pillow Talks, it's been charting a couple weeks now. It's been climbing. So hopefully that can kind of maybe transition into some FM play.
It's cool. Are you getting some play out of the Bay Area beyond California?
Yeah, actually, most of it is outside of the Bay. Yeah, it's right. It's probably 90% outside of the Bay. That we're getting a lot of play, a lot of spins. A lot in southeast, Vegas, South Carolina, Atlanta,
yeah.
LA.
This is a
Actually, I
great
think
market.
there might be
Chicago
only just,
a little bit.
yeah, there might just be only one radio station in the or digital radio station in the Bay that's playing us right now.
Yeah, I think it's San Jose or Sacramento. It's an S word.
Mm. Yeah.
Cool. So what are the plans for the next project? Is it going to be another EP? Do you want to do like an expanded thing like an LP or just keep dropping singles?
I think the plan right now for the short term is another EP. We're gonna do a follow-up to The Good. We kind of have like a little 3 EP plan for that. But we're gonna drop a project between. So this next project will be shorter than The Good, but hopefully we can start rolling it out in the next month.
Awesome.
It's
Yeah.
game time. We got a lot of music for the summer, the fall, the winter,
Game time.
the next summer, the
Late
fall,
drums,
the
we got more
spring.
on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always keeping busy. Now, are you doing other jobs on the side of all this? How was how are your lives rounded out with all of this activity?
I'm an exotic dancer.
Extra exotic dancer.
Like in Vegas.
Nah,
Ray's got like 4 different jobs because that one ain't paying too much.
And the exotic dancing that pays. That's big time.
Well, yeah, well, I've kept a day job that I will return to sparingly this summer. Just because we're active dudes, you know, we have families and all kinds of obligations to tend to, but music is paramount right now. So pushing that is the most important, and everything else is just to sustain that or to substantiate that somehow on my end.
Me, I got a job I work at 2 days a week out in the Bay Area. I live in Tracy, so it's, you know, about an hour and a half commute each way. And then, I mean, I'm married, I have 2 kids, so they keep me busy too, but still able to knock it out.
Good. Everybody's supporting all of you out there, just saying, hey, keep going for it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't have the negative ones around you saying, hey, this is just a pipe dream. Yeah, it's like you gotta have everybody around you all on board. Everybody has to be all in.
Right.
that type of stuff goes.
Yeah, seriously.
That type of stuff goes in one ear and out the other these days. I remember when I first started doing it, you get the pipe dream speech all the time, but then as your family and friends see you're, you know, continuously, you know, doing this, and you stick with it, and you stay consistent, you know, and they start to believe like, okay, maybe he can do this, you know.
Yeah. I mean, they see the passion. They see us elevating. They see how dedicated we are. They see all the sacrifices we make. They see all of that, and they're finally starting to come around. Like, you know what? You guys actually do make good music. You guys actually have a shot.
Yeah.
People that were skeptical are turning into supporters, and they're spreading the word, and so on and so forth. So that's really, really nice to see.
Yeah, that's what's important.
Give out of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awesome. Well, appreciate y'all stopping by this evening, and just let me know how it's going, and we'll keep doing follow-ups.
Appreciate it, man.
Hell
Thank you
yeah,
very
man.
much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having us. I wanted to ask you one question really quickly.
Sure.
I don't know if I missed it. You're in or from Georgia?
Yeah, I'm in the Atlanta area. I'm about 25 minutes north of Atlanta.
Okay.
Spend a lot of time in
we
the
definitely
ATL.
we make our way out there quite a few times, so we might have to stop by and say hello, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hey, but before we leave though, we want to tell everybody, make sure y'all go to the Instagram, uglyface.88. Well, it's at uglyface.88. You know what I'm saying? You can check out our merch at uglyface.com. Check us out. on Spotify, Uglyface, and
Subscribe on YouTube,
subscribe on YouTube,
please.
Uglyface. Pretty much, if you type in Uglyface, one word, you're gonna see our faces. I was gonna
You
see our ugly faces. But
And you have a regular website too. It's just all one.
It's uglyfaced.com.
There you go.
So Uglyfaced with a D.
Cool. Yeah, maybe you'll be performing here. We got a lot of good rooms here. A great new venue called the Easter.
Hey.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, check it out. Hopefully we'll see y'all. That's great. Well, thank you so much for stopping by tonight.
Thank you again. We appreciate the hell out of you, man.
Yep.
Yep. Appreciate it, man. Have a good night over there.
You too. Have a good one.
All right.
All right, y'all. Uglyface out.
Peace.
Peace.